Gaddafi in Libya, NATO and the UN are now turning their attention to the regime of Bashar al-Assad in Syria. International anger at the regime is coalescing. U.S. President Barack Obama, British Prime Minister David Cameron, French President Nicolas Sarkozy, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, and EU Foreign Policy Chief Catherine Ashton all issued statements last week saying that Bashar Assad should step down. Even the United Nations Human Rights Council turned against him this week. Until recently, Syria sat on the Human Rights Council. Up to now, the HRC's entire agenda has been aimed at condemning and delegitimizing Israel. But now, the Council has apparently decided it can't afford to go counter to prevailing opinion any longer. So conveniently, the UN Human Rights Council now suspects Bashar Assad of possible crimes against humanity. International sanction efforts are intensifying. Syria's oil imports are being choked off. A UN resolution now being drafted will call for sanctions against Assad personally and 22 of Syria's top officials. But President Assad isn't licked yet. He still has the support of Russia and China at the UN Security Council. And the mullahs in Tehran are blustering that any Western attack on Syria will meet a strong Iranian response. Additionally, there's great fear in the West that an attack on Syria will provoke a massive Syrian rocket attack against Israel, similar to Saddam Hussein's Scud attacks during the First Gulf War. In that war, Israel heeded Western calls for restraint and held back. But Israel has already warned Syria, in no uncertain terms, that it will respond in kind. What does that mean? It's well known that Syria has one of the largest arsenals of missiles and rockets in the region. Many of them are fitted with chemical or biological warheads. Additionally, Israel has to be prepared to respond quickly to a Syrian attack on its border, or even an attack from Iran. I've described this before, but it bears repeating because of its current relevance. The Old Testament prophets, including Isaiah, Obadiah, and the writer of Psalm 83, envisioned almost exactly this scenario in the last days. They described a great war that would bring together the seed of Esau, the general name for the Arabs, and the seed of Jacob for one last decisive battle. The prophet Isaiah called it the oracle concerning Damascus, or the burden of Damascus. He wrote, "Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap." Isaiah explained that the reason for the destruction of Damascus was its treatment of Israel. As for the international community, the prophet had this to say: "The nations rumble on like the rumbling of many waters, but he will rebuke them, and they will flee far away, and be chased like chaff in the mountains before the wind, or the whirling dust before a gale." The prophet Isaiah's forecast of the destruction of Damascus dovetails perfectly with the modern Israel's strategic plans and methods to accomplish it.